to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is going well, feeling well, everything's, kosher and in place. Before we get started, of course, I'm going to invite you to get comfortable, to get cozy, grab a seat, grab a chair, grab some tea, do what you need to do to get into a state so that you're able to receive the energy that I'm putting out to you, the vibes. As you know, we just had our vibe check, my little check-in that I had to do with y'all, because I was realizing, I'm throwing all this information at you guys, but I'm not able to always receive the feedback in the timely fashion so that I'm able to continue with the next video. So I did the vibe check and I was like, okay, I feel like I am moving too fast, so I wanted to take a step back. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go watch the last videos. It's only 2 or 3 or something like that, even the last 2 videos, and catch up so that you can understand where we're at and where we're going. And if you've already watched the last videos, congratulations, thank you so much. And we're going to continue with this video, which is going to be some tips, some tricks, and some actual guidance that will help you put into practice all of the information that I'm going to continue to obviously give you, but I've already given you, so that you're able to organize it and implement it in your life in a way that feels a lot more comfortable, that feels a lot more real, that feels a lot more realistic, because sometimes too much can feel unrealistic. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And of course, if you want a reading or if you want any extra guidance, you can join us on Patreon, where we have more self-care guidance and tips and manifestation tips that are going to help you along your path and your journey of enlightenment in life and just living this beautiful life that we have here for us, this opportunity that we have to grow, which is very apropos with what I was talking about in the last video, which is about taking this opportunity that we have in front of us, which is being in our human bodies. But that's enough rambling. Let me get into the video, which, if you haven't noticed by the title, is going to be about choosing what success is for you, because that is the first step to success. You have to decide if you actually want to be successful, and you have to decide what you're going to be successful as. If you don't know whether you want something, how are you going to expect to find it? How are you going to expect to get to it? How are you going to expect to draw that energy in? If you don't know, you won't ever know. If you don't know, you won't ever receive. So we have to get comfortable with saying what we want. I think a lot of the times people are uncomfortable with actually saying what they want. They feel like they're dreaming too big, or they're asking for too much. No, whatever you feel like you should be asking for is for you to have. You have to actually want it. You have to actually desire it. You have to have an actual genuine desire, like we talked about. And I think it was maybe the 2 videos ago where it was it has to be your desire. It has to be authentic. Yeah, we were talking about authenticity. It has to be authentic to you, not what someone else wants for you, not what social media is telling you might want, what you actually want for you. And you have to create that imagery, which we were doing in our first video, which is creating our main character, which is creating our energy that we can wake up every day, those habits that I was telling you guys to get into 3 weeks, right? So you have to create that image. You have to create that persona. You have to create that life. You have to create that being. It's kind of a video game. If you don't create it, if you don't take those steps to actually bring that being, bring that life, bring that idea into fruition, it's never going to come. So that's why we do vision boards. That's why we do, Pinterest boards. That's why we do these kind of visual manifestation techniques that help us visually see it. Visual aesthetics are so important. I talked about it on TikTok. The vision, our vision, what we can see with our eyes is so important. Our environment, so important. What you're waking up and seeing every day, so important. I would advise you to have, if you have a vision board, I would say put it somewhere where you can see it every day. Or if you have a goal, put it somewhere you can see it every day, because that will allow your brain to remember, okay, this is why I'm here, this is why I'm waking up, this is why we're doing this is why I'm taking these steps. You know what I mean? Create what you want to be, create what you want to see, even if it's just online, even if it's just AI, even if it's just Sims. Create it. Create that life, create that vision board. Make sure that it is in front of you. Make sure that there's an image that you can go to as a reference for who you are and what you want to be, so that it's already there, it's already out, it's already into the world, and it's already existing. So all you have to do is follow the steps that are going to be provided for you once you do this, in order to get to where you're trying to go, right? I know for me personally, that was a huge game changer for me. Not only being able to see my vision board when I wake up, or being able to see my Pinterest board when I go on there, when I choose, but also creating an environment around me that reflected the person that I wanted to be. And it doesn't have to be super extravagant. It can be really simple things, like maybe it's just a picture or a printout, or maybe it's just, a candle, maybe it's just a chair, maybe it's just a color swatch. It has to be something physical that you can see. It really wasn't clicking for me. Like, I didn't really understand why that was so important until I did it. I was trying to get to where I wanted to be. I was trying to succeed in a way that I wanted to have without having that visual reference. And it was so hard. It was so hard until I decided, okay, I have to be able to actually have that image. I have to be able to have that physical evidence in my world that this is possible. That's all it is. It's just a physical reference that lets you know that this already exists in the world. This is already happening. This is already real. It's that program. It's already real. It's already happening. Even if it's not physically happening to you, it's happening somewhere. It's happening in that image. It's happening on that Pinterest board. So why can't it happen for you? What's so different about you and the person in that picture? Nothing. You deserve it just as much as the next person. You deserve it just as much as me. So that is something once I figured that out, it was completely life-changing. And I still have to, not that I have to remind myself, but it's something that I have to embody. And I think that's something that can also be a little bit bothersome to some people, because not everyone's in that energy where they can say, I deserve this, and that's okay. Because then they think, if I don't deserve it, you don't deserve it either. And that's just something that's going to come along with this process. There are going to be people who are not able to elevate to our energy, to our status, to our level, who are going to want to bring you down, and that is okay. You know what I mean? That is, the tale is old as time. Someone trying to step in and interrupt your flow and interrupt what you got going on. That's just is what it is. It is what it is. That's something that I deal with on a daily basis. I'm telling you, I deal with that so much, it's ridiculous. But I just let them do what they do, and once I'm gone from that situation, it's not my problem anymore. It's out of my hands. And I think I really started noticing when people have this issue in that way with me, kind of towards the end of high school, but also towards the end of college, kind of around that time where my generation was going away from school, and we were kind of done with having to listen to our parents and having to listen to our administrations and things of that nature. I think that it was kind of a mind-boggling moment when it was like, okay, now that I've done the successful things I was told were what I need to be successful, I'm done, right? But no. I think that there are some people, like these people who I'm referencing, there's so many people who after school, whatever schooling they're gonna do, they kind of hit this wall where it's like, okay, I'm done being successful. And then they see people like you and me who are going to keep going, who are going to do more, who are going to want more, who are going to go after more, and it makes them super uncomfortable. I've been there too. It's like, okay, after school, and I think that a lot of people have been here. After school, it's like we're in this point where we're having to say, is that enough? I finished school. I did what my parents wanted me to do. Is that enough? Am I successful now? And some people are going to say yes, but so many people are going to say no. And in that group, there's a subgroup in that group as well, where the people who are saying no are going to say either, okay, I'm going to go after more success, or I'm going to succumb to the idea that I can't have more, and that this is all there is to be successful, even though it doesn't feel successful to me, even though it doesn't feel authentic to me. And that's where you're going to run into those people. That's where you're going to have those conflicts that you have to kind of just separate yourself from and say, okay, that person can't really evolve, but I can. I want more. I desire more. I genuinely want to have more. I know that there is something else out there for me, and go with that. We went into this even deeper, and I think two or three videos ago, where we talked about defining. I think we did. I could be wrong. I could have done that on TikTok, but I know at some point, I think I did this on Patreon actually. At some point we talked about defining ourselves and defining our worth and defining our success. And that is a point that you have to come to where it's like, okay, I have full autonomy. I'm a fully functioning human being, adult. What do I want to do now? And that's where I said, like I said, that imagery comes, even with the imagery thing, you can write a list down, I don't know, once a week, twice a week, every day, whatever works for you, write a list down. This is what I desire, this is what I want. Write a short story, write a short script, scripting. Let me know if you guys want a scripting video. Scripting is so good. It's really good for your mind. It's really good for expanding your thought and your desires. But you have to go out of your way to say, okay, I'm going to define what is successful to me. And that can be a certain job, that can be a certain living situation, that can be a certain romantic situation, that can be anything. That can be anything. But it has to be authentic. It has to be something that you desire actually. It has to be something that you've created. It has to be something that you want to go after. Because when you put it in a way that your body can recognize in such a deep and pinpointed way, where it's like, I came up with that came from my heart, that came from my soul, that came from my body, and it's no one else's, it makes it a lot easier to digest that even though, yes, this feels like something bigger than me, it's also within me to achieve. It's also within me to go after. It's also within me to want. It's also within me to deserve. And this is just a mindset. This is just a part of the process, right? It's a process. We've been going through this process. In the last videos, we're going to continue to go through this process together. Start today. Start today. Don't start tomorrow. Start right now. Go grab a piece of paper and write down 3 things that you want, 3 things that you desire. Make them big. Make them 5-year plan. Think big. We just had a Sagittarius full moon. Think big. Think 5 years. Think long. Think big, right? But start today. Take a step today. Even if you don't do it tomorrow or the next day, at least you started today. At least you put that energy out. And that's like 90% of manifestation is just putting it out in a genuine and authentic way, where you say, okay, this is what I want. Universe, energies around me, lead me there, and I'll do my part. That is so much of manifestation. You know, a lot of it is other things that you want to dabble in. You can make it more fun, but so much of it is mindset. And I know I talk about this all the time, but this is your tool that you need. This is what's going to get you there. Over there, wherever you're trying to go, this is going to get you there. I promise you. I would listen. Mind over matter. Mind over matter. Always mind over matter. It's here first and then it's out there. It has to be here first there. You can't actually, if you don't actually desire it here, and also here, right? But here as well. Like, this is the first point of contact with those kind of things. And then it kind of comes here just naturally. It cannot be out there if it's not in here. Like I said, start today. Start today asking more questions. Ask, why do I desire this? Or who told me that I can't do more? Or why does it feel like I want more? Ask more questions and then be ready for those answers, but also be ready for things to go wrong. Because once you start asking those questions, once you start questioning why this is here and that and not over there, and once you start questioning why you're living here and why you're not living there, things are going to start dropping off. You might lose a job, you might lose a friend, you might lose a lover, you might get into an argument with someone. There's going to be a little bit of resistance there. That just comes with when you're ready to change, when you're ready to evolve, there's some pullback. There's a pullback on you. And that comes with something that feels like failure and something that we label as failure, but it's really just a pullback. It's that energy that's behind you that you've been attached to, trying to say, no, stay here, stay with us. This is fine, right? This is fine. But no, let that crumble behind you. Let that fall off you. Let it fall away, because it's going to fall away. Once you start asking these questions, you're going to start experiencing, like I said, what we call failure. But it's really just things in your life that are trying to change and trying to evolve. And that comes with a shedding period. That comes with a down period. That comes with the low before you can shoot up to the top. That's just how it goes. That's just what it is. But as long as you're keeping in mind that this is what I wanted, this is what I asked for, this is what I'm going to do because this is my life and this is who I am, you'll be fine. Because you'll have that capacity to handle those changes, handle that resistance, handle the reality shift that is coming in, and do it your way. Like, always make sure you're doing it authentically. Always make sure that you are bringing your own, seasoning, your own little sauce into the mix. Make sure you're doing it in a way that is very much you. Don't try to do it like anyone else. Don't try to do it like the next person. Don't try to copy exactly anything. Let it happen naturally. Let it flow. Let it be a kind of energy that feels like you. That is the thing about success. Until you actually define your own success, you're going to have issues, because you're going to be going after someone else's success. You're going to be going after someone else's idea of what it means to make it. You're going to be going after someone else's idea, and also not only going after someone else's idea of success and someone else's dream, you're going to be funding someone else's dream. You're going to be putting more money into someone else's piggy bank that they're trying to, you know, grow their own success out of. So of course, I'm going to leave you all with that to chew on. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope you got something out of it. And I want you guys to actually take this into consideration about literally starting today. And I will always be over on Patreon if you need any guidance, any readings, any more tips, any more energy, any more information that I can give you. You can meet us over there. And I love you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for sharing your energy and time with me. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.